Hey everybody, Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Strange Issue 7. I really like this cover. Granted, red's one of my favorite colors, but this just is really kind of cool, just showcasing everything going on, Clea with her cape, and everything going on in the cape. That's just really kind of cool. And I really enjoyed this issue. We got movement on the whole Harvest Man front with Clea, and Clea confronting Strange about it, and them actually coming to an accord pretty much, and getting a little bit of a teaser at the end of kind of what's going on with the Blasphemy Cartel. So, we pretty much see Clea detailing with the, talking about the fallout of learning that Strange is the Harvest Man, and what's kind of going on, which is just beautiful artwork. I mean, that's fucking awesome right there, how they show Clea like that, flying to her love, Strange, as Strange is seeing that there's a lot of fucking weird shit going on with, this cattle and all that. And we see that he then is fighting a Revenant of Goliath, which I'm like, I do like these callbacks that these Revenants are making and everything. And she's, of course, talking about how it's kind of crazy that, one dead man is sent against the other dead, trespassing in the world of the living, and that, yeah, he has power, but that, greater and greater ghosts are bound together for these Revenants, and he's but one man, and that the Harvest Man kind of stands alone until Clea kind of pops up and be like, until now, but no longer. And that's just a really kind of cool entrance that she's kind of got up going there. And she, of course, is asking why this theater, why you didn't tell her, and he takes off the mask and pretty much explains that, she'd seen him dead, 3 times, and he didn't want to have her grieve again if he failed. And then, of course, they're trying to get, talking about the whole thing, but of course they got the Revenant to deal with, as Clea's like, damn it. Alright, let's do this. And that's a pretty kind of cool thing, as she does this kind of spell to protect them, as the Revenant is saying Goliath. And it's cool as she's talking about, okay, and just like that, it's as if he never died, and their team up just works pretty awesomely, seeing them do their different kind of magics that they're versed in with this. It's like, ooh, this is kind of cool. And she's talking about how they worked well together on the battlefield and off, and I do like this kind of shift in style to old style kind of comics, as we still have the new style and the layout of the panels. This is a kind of funkier kind of layout, because it's kind of normal, and then we kind of get here, we get them kind of staggered with different kind of sizes. It really kind of changes it up, and has you kind of going ooh, reading the page in kind of a different kind of way, as we see them making openings for each other and utilizing kind of cool different magics, as he's utilizing more dead kind of magics from the realm of the dead, and you got the giant kind of skeleton stuff, and that they're in their timing together, and she'll provide enough life for both of them even though he's dead, and no matter how many Revenants pop up or gangsters need corrected, and that from now on they'll fight together. And you see him blasting more. He's utilizing a spell that's throwing tombstones at the Revenant. And she's talking about how at first she thought Stephen was a prisoner of death, then a slave, but it makes no difference, as they pretty much get it into a compromised position, and Clea uses, of course, the scythe to slash free all of the spirits, and that she's going to free him, whatever it may take. And that's just an awesome kind of epic kind of page shot right there. And it's alright, that's awesome. And then we get to them pretty much talking and laying things out more, as she's coming down. She's like, I've missed you so much. She's trying to touch him, but he's like, we can't, because you got life magic, I've got magic suffused with death and her power. It's matter and antimatter. If we touched, it could be disastrous. And of course, she's like, then why didn't you tell me that you were alive? Well, why didn't you tell me yourself? And he of course reiterates that he didn't want to give her more pain, and she's like, if he had failed in his mission, and her mission is to get him to come back. And what's our mission? The Revenants. That's what it is. And he's got to, like, since death is being disrespected, I need to succeed in ending this affront to her power, then I will have earned my return to life to you. And then Clea starts getting angry at him, and it makes sense because both of them did... Strange's thing makes sense to his line of thinking, but she's like, then why didn't you fucking, like, ask for help or whatnot? Because she's talking about how her mother was right in that she has terrible taste in men, and she's like, you stubborn, foolish, proud, you would rather do all this on your own than ask me for help, ask Wong for help, all out of concern for my feelings. And she's like, I've known hurt, some of it from your own actions. She's the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth and the Dark Dimension, and I do not need your protection. I only need you. And the thing is, she's mad at him, but not like horrendously, tremendously, like, I'm going to fucking end you kind of mad at you. And you just see him kind of understanding that as she's explaining it to him, that she's like, I just need you, and I don't need protection, and let's just do this. Because, yes, Strange is taking other people's feelings into account, but the thing is, if you have help, you have sometimes a greater chance of success of what's kind of going on to achieve that mission. And understandably, because Clea has more information on what's going on with Wand and their connection to the Revenants than Steven does at this point. So it'd be like, oh, okay. And Clea's like taking charge of this, like, screw this, we'll call it a diplomatic mission or whatnot. You and Wong and I will scheme, and we will plan, and we will drink some wine, and you will pet poor Bats, who has been inconsolable, and we will eliminate these Revenants together, and I will have you back. And it's just like, damn, that's cool, Clea. I'm with you on that. And I just kind of love this that she kind of ends on. She says, because the Sorcerer Supreme and Warlord of Manhattan does not let anyone, even death, tell her whom she may and may not touch. It's like, yeah, I definitely see the bit of her mother in her with that, and it's just like cool to kind of see her, how she reacts to this information, and like how she talks to people about this. So that ends off Clea and Steven. So then we shift to the Blasphemy Cartel's 001 headquarters, Emerald City, as the director dude is like getting information that the schedule's moving faster than anticipated. Analytics and Augury predicted with an 87% degree of certainty that our Lazarus project would overwhelm the the Harvest Man before he caught on to us, but they can't account for Clea Strange. It's like, huh, interesting. And the director's like, yeah, we could account for Strange because we've got so much stuff. It's not by pages, it's by tonnage, but that Clea is a wild card, and that kind of is even kind of worse in a deck of tarot cards. But he's like, forget about her. And they're like, listen, we used Alon's occult tactical memory weapon to erase ourselves from the planet, but the director took it a step further and erased his identity from the fabric of reality, sacrificed it all on the altar of InfoSec, and he's asking Nobody 84 why he did that. It's like, huh, that's an interesting kind of tactic. And it says because like magic has a price, as does spycraft, and that he spoke to the management for the first time. The things they showed him, if he'd had a sense of identity, would have destroyed him. It's like, okay. As we see like a Revenant Prime thing going on, it's like, huh, who's this management? What's their goals? These Revenants were just pretty much built to keep the Harvest Man overwhelmed at a certain kind of point. So what's their actual objective? And he had to pay a price for their patronage to for them to show him the way, and he needed to become what he had to for the great work. So it's kind of cool that we got a little bit more information. He removed his identity from the fabric of reality for a reason. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how we learn more about who he is. But this management has a certain kind of goal in mind, and I like that this isn't... It's kind of a slow kind of burn, but we're getting kind of breadcrumbs. We're getting kind of at least more information. We got Strange revealed as the Harvest Man. We see that the Blasphemy Cartel has working with an even kind of higher power, as this kind of lower level kind of thing working within the world for a reason has to fuck with this kind of stuff for a reason, and that they need to use these revenants to overwhelm that Sorcerer Supreme. So it definitely does look like that Strange, if he had even gotten farther enough into this, would have probably been overwhelmed and would have needed help if he then started working with Clea at this point. So it was cool to get the whole kind of bit with Strange and Clea reuniting and then working kind of stuff out, even though it seems a little bit more one-sided, and that Clea's like, fuck this shit, I understand what you were trying to do, but it was wrong, so let's go help get Wong, get Bats, we're going to help you, we're going to figure this out, we're going to stop this shit. And it's like, okay, but it seems like it's a lot bigger than just people being like, hey, we're fucking around with Death and making her look bad or whatnot. We'll see how this kind of works out and what this management, who this management is, what their overall objective is, and what the objective of the Blasphemy Cartel could be in relation to that. Because they could have a different objective than the management that might not conflict with it, but we'll have to kind of see. So I'm like, ooh, more interesting kind of stuff. Can't wait to see what we'll learn of and what kind of magical battles will ensue. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.